All right, good afternoon. Confession time. Confession time. Uh, I'm trying to have like kind of full disclosure and be totally brutally honest. Because I mean, what's it worth if I'm not that way, right? And where would the value really be? So, this is a real bastard to get down here, right? As far as bringing equipment down. So I still don't have all of my equipment down in this basement. Thought I heard something. There's nobody. It's just me. So if I hear something, it's something other than me. And there shouldn't be another something other than me, except for animals. Now I will say, a couple days ago, and I got a couple pictures, but I observed them for a while because it was so beautiful. And again, I'm not of this generation that thinks to get pictures of everything they do and everything they experience. So by the time it occurred to me, I wasn't at the best, most advantageous position to get really great pictures, but I did get some pictures. Out back there was an enormous doe. This doe was so big that if this doe had been a buck, it would have been a good sized buck. I've never personally seen a doe that large, or at least not knowingly. I've never seen a doe that close that I could absolutely see, for sure to scale how large this animal was. An enormous, beautiful, healthy doe, and she had two fawns with her. And she was just out back during the day, I guess looking around, nibbling. They nibble at some of the plants, but they don't really get the produce. They nibble at, I guess they get plenty of corn around here, but they like to nibble on some of my plants that are like my gardening plants that are out in front of the house, inside the house, and behind the house. I'll show you all this shit eventually. Anyway, so we have a lot of animals. Now today I did see a little teeny baby groundhog who was fast as shit come hauling ass away from my garden. So I went out there to investigate, and he had pushed down part of the kind of lightweight fencing around it, but to this point it's served a purpose, and it's buried enough that you can't really dig under it. I mean, I guess he could if he was really industrious, but I could see where he'd been out there. He pushed it down, and the dumb bastard, well, if that's what he wants, then he's welcome to it. He grabbed a rotten bell pepper that I had laying down on the ground in there. I don't know what's up with the bell peppers. One of the whole plants, before they actually get all red, they look beautiful green, and by the time they start to begin to turn red, they've got some kind of a rot in them. Every one on this one plant. Now the other plant, they look great. So I don't know what's up with that plant, but he didn't pick any off the plant. There's some beautiful ones still on the plant that are green. He didn't want those. He ate the rotten one, and I guess he snatched it up and he thought he really got something and hauled ass away. So I reinforced the fencing so he can't do it again. Anyway, I'll probably cut all this out because this has shit to do with what this video is supposed to be about. All right, confession time. I decided to branch out a little bit. I went to a gym the other day. I have found a much smaller gym that this guy owns, and it's a labor of love. So it's not functioning or it doesn't exist based on profit. It's just he works out like that to that extent, and he's got a lot of equipment, and it's a modest small gym, but he's got plenty. It's pretty damn nice. And there's nobody ever in there. And it's a key club 24/7. So I called him. I'm going to go talk to him. Between here and there, I'm going to work out between here and there. It's close. There's not a lot of people. That's what I really need, because the confession part is that I went to another gym the other day and did chest just to have a greater variety of equipment. I can do all my heavy shit here, and for the variety's sake, I would like to maybe experiment, expand, have more stuff. So I went there, and of course I ran into a few people that I know, some younger guys that are getting big now, that had appreciable amount of muscle, year or so ago, 2 years ago, and now really look good. And of course, that makes me feel like, that I don't look right, that I need to be bigger. Being in that atmosphere compels me or encourages me, or that little bit of ego in there, that's just like a default thing, makes me want to lift more weight than I need to be lifting right now. Being around that, in that environment, around guys like that, that competitive thing, it makes me want to put more weight on, lift more weight, and it makes me want to get bigger. And I left there saying, what am I doing to myself? I need to get bigger. I'm too stringy, I'm not full, and I'm not full. I use the Carbolin pre-workout, okay? So I'm still super saturating, I'm bringing the glycogen, super saturating, filling the muscles back out, so I get a great pump. I just finished working out, and you can see what it looks like right now. But I'm fuller now because what did I do? Well, like I'm saying, so I have the Carbolin, but the thing is, that takes care of then and there. Spikes the insulin, supersaturates the muscle with glycogen. Well, it's wrung out like a sponge. It can be supersaturated. The insulin drives it home. The insulin is brought on from the Carbolin. And then at the same time, the insulin is pushing all that nutrition that I've got in my body and in my blood into the muscles, So that, I get these great pumps and all, but I don't stay full. I'm flat the rest of the time. Like I get up in the morning, I'm flat. If it's not a workout day, then I'll be all flat that day. I'll be flat the next day because I'm taking in like almost no carbohydrate. So that's, I'm going to get a killer pump with the Carbolin and all that stuff and nice and full, but that doesn't last at all because I'm flat the rest of the time because I'm not taking carbs in like that and I'm hammering the shit out of cardio. So I decided, these past 2 days, after I came out of the gym, being in that atmosphere again, no cardio for 2 days, and I decided to refeed. And I decided, and I do have a refeed day here and there, but I still don't take in carbs. I still don't take in carbs. I just run my fats a little higher, and I do run the protein just ends up being a little bit higher. But I brought in some carbs. I actually went to the grocery store. I got some carbs that I prefer, not starches. And I started putting in some complex carbs. More nutrition, more protein, and it filled me up. So you see, I would imagine, I don't know if it's noticeable, but I should be looking quite a bit fuller right now. But that's not the direction I'm going in. So after 2 days of that, I'm realizing that's no good for me. So I'm going to stay on point. I'm going back to what I was doing, back on the treadmill in the morning, more cardio. I'm going to look flat all the time. But this is, I still have it a decent amount. I'm just flat all the time, and that's okay. It's okay. But I've always been the biggest guy in the gym for the longest time. I don't care who's in the gym. And when I was 300 pounds, even when I was 280 and pretty hard, I was as big as anybody in the gym, anywhere. Nobody dwarfed me. So I'm not getting dwarfed in a local gym, but I'm not the freak. You know what I mean? And it's not like I want to be that freak. It's just like I feel out of place. I feel like I'm not holding my own. I'm not representing. I'm not being who I'm supposed to be. So it's better for me not to be into that. Keep on the path that I've been on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going back to what I was doing. Forget these past couple of days. Back to the cardio. I may go down and work out this little gym with this guy so that there's not a lot of people there. So I'm not encouraged. I don't feel that competitive spark, and I don't because I'm a competitive guy, and I don't, until I can move past that far enough, long enough away from that, so that's the confession. I'm only human. I'm not perfect. I'm susceptible to all these things too. Is it bigorexia? I don't think it's so much bigorexia or body dysmorphia. I look in the mirror and I'm fine with how I'm looking. I'm fine with how my clothes are fitting. I'm fine with the sizes I'm wearing. I'm fine with all that. But when I'm into that element again, that I'm so accustomed to that. When I'm in that element, I'm in those kind of gyms with a lot of people, and where people know me, I'm used to being, I'm not used to being who I am now. I know I look bigger right now, but like I said, that's going down the wrong path. So I'm going back, and until I'm evolved far enough that I can go in those places and, be the new me, I'm going to stay out of them. That's what I got to do. It's for somebody else now. It's for the younger guys. Let those younger guys do that. They can do all that. I don't need to be doing it anymore. Did it long enough. I don't need to do it anymore. That's it. Just wanted to share that with you, man. I'm only human. I'm susceptible to all these kind of things just like everybody else is. You guys take care. Have an awesome evening. I got to get upstairs. I do got to get some clean protein, some water, and get ready to kick back for the night.